Aerodrome, the leading decentralized exchange on the Base network, is also the largest token on-chain. Now it went up more than 100% in the last month. Let's have a look at who's buying here, who's selling here, how much longer this rally can potentially last. So this is DEX Screener. This is ordered by liquidity. We've got 140 million in the Aero token. That's even more than the Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin. And there's a reason why the asset has grown that much. This is the total value locked of the Aerodrome decentralized exchange. It's currently at 1.1 billion, while the fully diluted market cap is at 1.5 billion. That seems like a pretty good deal, right? If the total value locked increases, the price will likely increase as well with the market cap. But let's have a look at comparisons. How well does this metric work? Is there some kind of a fixed ratio between the market cap of a project and its total value locked, or its capital that it's handling on chain? Let's have a look at Uniswap. Uniswap has a total value locked of roughly 4.8 billion and its fully diluted market cap is at 7.6 billion, so almost double of the total value locked. So does that mean to get some kind of fair valuation, the Aero price should double as well? Not so quick. Unfortunately, it is not that easy. Because let's have a look at the leading decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain, PancakeSwap. That's got a total value locked of 2.8 billion. And here the fully diluted market cap is roughly half of that total value locked at 0.9 billion. So the fully diluted market cap can be double of its total value locked as with Uniswap. It can be close to the total value locked as with Aero, or it can be half of the total value locked as with PancakeSwap. There is no clear connection here. Things like tokenomics, things like the current narrative of the day do matter, and a lot of people want to bet on the Base chain, right? The Base chain is growing quite a bit, and since there is no native token for Base, people simply just buy Aero, the largest of the decentralized exchanges. Now let's have a look at the holders of Aero. Who's currently buying, who's selling? In total, we've got 192,000 holders on chain. But not all of those holders have a lot of capital in this. Let's look at some minimum holding thresholds. So on the left side, we've got the number of wallets that have at least 5,000 Aero tokens. So at the current price, that's maybe $6,000 or so. That's growing quite constantly over time and is currently at 3,700. So roughly 1.5% of the holders. In other words, 85.5% of holders on chain have less than $5,000 or $6,000 worth of the token. Most are just in it with play money. Now in the middle, we go another 10x in minimum holding compared to the left chart. So that's now 50,000 tokens or $60,000. And on the right, we go another 10x. So that's now more than $500,000 worth of the token. This is the real mega whales. And there are currently roughly 100 such wallets. The main problem with crypto YouTube is conflict of interest. Too many YouTubers shill garbage, promote garbage, and fill up their pockets in the background. Not this channel. Instead, there's simply the offer where I share my skills, my perspectives to you, and where I also share direct access to me, where you can ask me any questions. Feel free to check it out. The premium membership link is down below. Now here's something to think about. All wallet cohorts are accumulating, right? There are more and more whales, there's more and more retail investors. So why do we see the following? Why do we see the price sometimes dumping that much? From more than $2 all the way down to below 50 cents. This doesn't seem to be a mass exodus of investors, right? The number of investors is growing. And when we look at the last month where the price of Aero doubled, the number of holders didn't really double. So the number of retail investors on chain grew by less than 10%. There seems to be some kind of artificial price discovery here. And token allocations aren't necessarily 100% transparent. So we've got the funding through the Base ecosystem fund that was undisclosed in its size. We've got a token distribution that's not really self-explanatory. There seems to be quite a lot of insider allocation as well. And on top of that, we've got, of course, also token inflation, because if we use the Aerodrome platform, we get incentive tokens as well that we can, by the way, also lock up. So here's the emission schedule over time. Here's a different representation of the same emission schedule. And what's interesting about this is that this is assuming that some of the emissions get locked up. In other words, there's actually more inflation, but this is assuming that not all of this hits the market. And so it seems to make sense when investing into Aero to not just hold the token, but to actually stake it, to actually get some rewards. Because if you're using Aero Relay, you're close to all-time highs when adding the price plus the yield. When we just look at the price, we're very far away from the all-time high. Now here's something that's depressing the price. We do see how a lot of people lock up their Aero. So that's on average a bit under 4 years lockup period. But we also see how the percent of Aero supply that's locked tends to decline over time. And that's of course also depressing the price. When there are token unlocks and those unlocks get sold, that of course pushes prices down. That happened actually with the PancakeSwap token. PancakeSwap had a staking program, introduced a 1-year lockup period. If you locked up your cake and waited for a year, you got 80% more cake. 1 year after that initiation of the program, the cake price completely collapsed. So it definitely makes sense to get out of Aero before the lockup expires. But again, we can see how it already is expiring somewhat gradually, right? The percent that's locked up is declining. Now, the fundamental question to all of this is, of course, usage, right? When a decentralized exchange gets used more and more and generates more and more fees due to swapping activities, then of course, emissions don't really matter too much. We do see how the base chain is growing in total value locked. Do we also see how trading activity on Aerodrome is rising? The answer is over here. On the left side, we've got the transaction count over time. So a very nice spike at the end of March of this year. This is where a lot of meme coin trading happened. Now we tend to revive again somewhat. But what's interesting is that this is mainly the transaction count. It's not the trader count. So the trader count is still relatively low. So something is artificially inflating the trading. I'm not sure if there's more arbitrage bots now active on Aerodrome. I'm not sure what's exactly going on, but it's not necessarily just new people coming in. It seems like this current rally is not underpinned by sufficient holder growth. We do, however, see a positive trend long term. The question is if tokenomics are hostile enough to let the price correct yet again by another 75%. Is the Aero token cheap or is it expensive? It of course depends on what you measure this against. Against PancakeSwap, it's expensive. Against Uniswap, it's cheap. I publish videos on Aerodrome and various other altcoins regularly on this channel. So if you found this useful, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to also give this a like. It helps the channel grow. In case you've got Telegram, then you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below. Looking very much forward to chatting with you.